This live stream is presented to you by MaxspeedTV. All live streaming content that is presented in this telecast is owned by MaxspeedTV, Rudy Cummings, and the entire crew of MSTV. This may not be rebroadcasted, retransmitted, and retelevised without written consent. Please enjoy today's broadcast.
It's the nature of the experiment. It's the pattern for my temperament. It's the nature of the experiment. It's taking me in increments.
iSCAR TSP Cup Series for the Homestead 200 presents to you the finale race here on round number 20 out of 20. We welcome you all here tonight. My name is Ezekiel Reyes.
I'm Benjamin White. Welcome to the broadcast. We got another championship race on tap today. We got 4 drivers in it to win it here tonight. Those are Connor Brandon driving the number 92. We also have Derek M. Smith in the number 66, Ryan Kedrick in the number 65, and Malachi Drake, last night's Truck Series champion, going for another one in the number 90.
Yeah, of course, that number 65 is going to be a household name here for the weekend. Made all Final Four rounds in the iSCAR chase. Excited to see on how he performs out here tonight. He is currently 1 for 3 for not winning a championship. We'll see if he can pick it up here tonight in that number 65. He's been the most consistent driver, but Derek M. Smith in that number 66, he's going to be the one to watch out for.
Yeah, he has the most wins on the season with 4. And he's won on all kinds of tracks, too. He won at Vegas. He also got the win at the Roval and the Charlotte Oval, and then also won at Phoenix. So 4 wins at, I'd say, 4 different types of tracks.
He definitely has the talent to get it done here tonight. It should be fun to see on how that number 66 performs. And we'll go ahead and pull up the standings right in front of your screen. See where everybody runs around the racetrack. And you see right there, that number 66, Derek M. Smith, is currently running second in practice.
Yep, you see him very fast right now. The quickest of our championship drivers in practice right now, as you see, Aaron Mulrooney is on the top of the board here in practice, which we have 10 minutes left in.
We're going to go ahead and drag in our final 4 contenders here in just a moment. Go ahead and attempt to get them in here soon. But for right now, we'll take a look at our race analysis here on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. 134 laps, 201 miles going to be ran here. No stages. Pit road speed is 50 miles per hour. Fuel window, again, iSCAR runs 100% fuel, so the pit window should be every 50 to 55 laps here on this 1.5 mile oval. Track facts. You could go ahead, Doc.
We have a 1.5 mile track, another one of these on our schedule. We have several of them. The banking is 18 to 20 degrees, progressively banked. And this track is located in Homestead, Miami, Florida. And got 4 turns, of course. It's an oval, so we'll have 4 turns. And we're not very high above sea level, only 3 feet.
Yeah, just relatively close against the shore, east coast. Actually, yeah, the east coast shoreline. So just dig a couple feet under, and after that you'll find groundwater. And speaking of, actually, I was going to take that somewhere. I don't know where to go with that. But otherwise than that, yeah. We're here in Homestead. I'm excited. Who do you think who's going to win out of these final 4 contenders here for tonight?
I got one of my good friends, Connor Brandon, winning tonight's race and the championship. You see him in that new sponsor machine, JM5 Media, run by Jackson Menchu. Jackson painted this car for him, and Connor's looking to give him a championship ride. And I think he will get it done.
My bet's on that number 65, Ryan Kendrick. He's been so consistent as I see him actually run a meme scheme right now. That number 65 currently in 4th in practice, right behind these two people. Actually, did Miller make? No, Miller didn't make it. The only odd person out of this final 4 who's yet to see that top 5 is that number 90, Malachi Drake, who's riled back in 12th in practice, but
Not too far off.
yeah, not too far off, but that just tells you that those other 3 contenders, Derek M. Smith, currently running 2nd, Connor Brandon currently running 3rd, Ryan Kendrick in 4th. Those are going to be the people to watch. I see Garrett Hess just flinging in there, but yeah, they're definitely fast. We'll go ahead and drag one of our contenders into the booth, and goes that number 65, Ryan Kendrick. Hey, Ryan, you got a copy?
Yeah.
What's up, man? You're coming in yet again as a Final 4 contender. You didn't win last night, but looking for redemption here, I guess?
Yeah, we're a lot faster in practice than I was last night. But, 2 of the other 3 I have to beat are faster than me. So it should be close. We're all 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and I don't think Malachi's too far off either.
Yeah, definitely. You guys are really competitive here for tonight. Looking forward to you to see outperform. What's the difference between the truck and the cup car?
It seems like you can drive it in a lot deeper in the cup car than you could in the truck. And I don't the line seems about the same. Yeah, other than that, not too much of a difference, I don't think.
All right, man. Good luck out there in your Final 4 campaign, and hopefully you'll come out up top. That was Ryan Kendrick in the number 65. We're going to scoot him out of the booth, and we'll drag in another Final 4 contender. Looks to be the number 90, Malachi Drake. Go ahead, take this one away, dog.
Malachi Drake, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, you're coming off of a Truck Series championship last night. Can you make it 2 in a row? Weekend.
There's always that slight chance I can, but I would have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to beat Connor and Derek, because they've both been the cream of the crop for the Cup Series this year.
Well, you're 12th, not too far off in practice, but where are you feeling like you're losing that time on your practice laps?
I'm not quite sure. This is a track that I've struggled with a little bit. I'm not sure what I need to do to pick up speed, so I've just kind of been focusing more on some race pace and saving tires, because I feel like that's my best chance.
Well, you got a pretty decent shot here right now as towards one of our championship 4. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
That was the number 90, Malachi Drake, and we'll go ahead and drag in one of our chase contenders. We'll go ahead and drag the number 80 of James Youngman into the booth. He goes, currently running 19th in practice as of right now. Hey, James, you got a copy?
I do.
Hey, man, I sorry to interrupt you. I just saw you just got on track, but how are you feeling here for tonight?
It's gonna be an interest. I'm not too quick, but I usually am able to figure it out a little bit better in the race than I can in practice and qualifying. So we'll see where.
All right, 10-4, man. How's the car feel out there as right now?
Feels pretty good. I just can't seem to find quite the right line and throttle input, but we'll get there eventually.
All right, man. 10-4. Before we let you go, any sponsor you want to go ahead and endorse before we let you?
The entire TCS team, Jackson, Hartman, Grace. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. 10-4. Good luck out there tonight. Hopefully, see you up top.
Thank you.
That was James Youngman and the number 80 as he scoots himself down onto pit road. You saw that net code, by the way, right?
Oh, yeah, that's one of the worst net codes I've ever seen. All right, let's drag in another one of our championship 4 contenders. We got Connor. Connor, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got one.
Well, you got a new sponsor on board tonight, JM5 Media. Do you think you can give him a championship run?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be pretty quick today. I mean, gotta be on my A game all day. I really hope I can bring it home first place.
Yep, this is your only shot at winning a championship this season, of course. Edged it out last season in the trucks. Do you think you can make it 2 seasons in a row, 2 seasons with the championship?
Yeah, I think I'm capable. I mean, I just gotta be able to stay up front all race long. I think that's gonna be important, and I just gotta be on my A game.
All right, well, good luck, Connor, and hope to see you out in Victory Lane.
Yeah, thank you.
That was the number 92 of Connor Brandon. We'll go ahead and try to find that number 66 of Derek M. Smith somewhere, but currently he's not in the waiting room. We'll drag in a non-chase contender. I mean, oh yeah, he is in here. That number 20 of Andy McDowell. Into the booth he goes. Hey, Andy, you got a copy?
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man? You're running 11th in practice right now. Well, how you feel about your chances here tonight?
I think we may get top 5 at best. Our short run speed isn't that good, but hopefully our long run speed makes up for it.
All right, man.
Yeah.
10-4. Well, I see you're sporting some new colors. I guess.
Yeah, Joe Exotic, free Joe Exotic. Screw Carol Baskin. She killed her husband.
Okay, man. 10-4. Before I let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
My team, Peak Performance, Miller Motorsports, and free Joe Exotic.
All right, man. 10-4. Andy McDowell currently running 11th, and as of right now, we'll go ahead and see you coming around.
All right, bye-bye.
Yep. This is number 20 of Andy McDowell. I don't know where he finished last night, but he was somewhere.
Yeah, he was running pretty early until a little bit of an incident where Nick Miller was running. Of course, that incident really set Miller back, but he was able to recover and get a top 10.
So as we look at these practice times are now starting to fluctuate, and so you see new faces filtering up here inside that top 10 area. The number 41, Christopher Weil. Christopher, of course, I don't know where he finished in the truck series, but he took a gamble. I don't think it worked out. Also, the 66, Derek M. Smith, we were just talking to him earlier. Miller in the 9, he's here tonight. There you see him right in front, currently right on pit road. But yeah, I'm fairly excited to see how this will all be here for tonight.
Yep, got a full field, -1 spot, which was taken by Matthew Klein. He misclicked on his beta UI and accidentally took up a spot. He was meaning to spectate, so that's unfortunate, but we're getting close to qualifying time, and for these Final Four contenders, that will be very important for both pit stall selection and not being in traffic.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go ahead and pull up point standings right in front of your screen. Currently on top of the board. I mean, they're all top 4 is all tied. Whoever out of those 4 drivers will come out as the champion. So let's go ahead and give a overview on how these Final Four contenders are coming in here for tonight. Connor Brandon in the number 92. Picked up 2 wins this season, one at Pocono. I forgot where the other one came at. 7 top 5, 7 top 10s, 14 starts in total. Malachi Drake has yet to pick up a win alongside with Ryan Kendrick in the 65, but both of them have been in iSCAR Victory Lane before. For Malachi, it's been a while, though. He's sort of a dark horse coming in here for tonight.
Yeah, but if anything, his confidence has to be up from that championship last night.
Right. Definitely. No doubt about it. He has a chance, actually, on getting more championships than wins, which will be a very surprising statistic. Number 90, currently running, I don't even know where he is right now. There he is, currently running in 9th in practice. But yeah, Malachi, he's looking pretty solid here for tonight.
Yep, all he needs is a little luck to go his way, and obviously have pretty good speed, and you'll be up there anyways.
Practice about to go ahead and cease as we had ourselves set here for tonight's race. If you're now just joining us here for tonight, we welcome you all live on MaxspeedTV. iSCAR TSP Cup Series, Homestead 200, about to crown a champion here for tonight. Otherwise than that, we're going to scoot ourselves to the side and play the national anthem. Rise out, remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors. We welcome everybody back here live for the iSCAR TSP Cup Series Homestead 200, currently under qualifying conditions as of right now. Is get ourselves set up for tonight's green flag. We'll go ahead and show you our race analysis here for tonight on the bottom right hand side of your screen. 134 laps, so a fairly long race. NIS length should take at least an hour and a half to get done. Watching drivers qualify out on the racetrack as they scoot themselves in and around. Currently, Andy McDowell topping the charts in that number 20. Surprising turnaround from him of how he ran just yesterday in the truck series. He scoots himself right up off the corner, and we'll see where he comes out. But that number 20, Andy McDowell, is currently on top of the board.
Yeah, he just wants to end his season off strong. You see, he is ahead of all the championship contenders right now. How about Marshall Ryder coming in second on the charts? Great lap.
Yeah, definitely a great lap for that number 75. Again, that number 75, Marshall Ryder, doesn't race a lot in this league. And glad to see that number 75 show his colors here tonight. He's qualified himself in second.
Cody Webster up to fourth. One of the proximity racing drivers looking to end the season strong. And Derek Smith will move himself up to second. So he will be right now the highest of our championship drivers. But it looks like all four of them in the top 10. Drake does pick it up just a couple of positions from practice.
Drivers on pit road. Scott Yo scoots himself down on in with the Darrell Waltrip throwback. Nice to see that. Christopher, that number 41, has scooted himself into that second place. William Schmidt out on the racetrack. Joe Berge, he logs in a time, currently 25th. Bonser, again, that number 81. It's been a while since he's been out on the racetrack. That number 81 scoots himself into 3 and 4. Looking to go have a back-to-back strong runs here for tonight.
Yeah, didn't get the finish that he most deserved last night. So I'm looking to get a little bit of a better rebound here tonight, but he hits the wall on his qualifying lap, won't be able to turn one. And you see Christopher Wheel goes to the top of the board just by 7 1/1000ths of a second. That's how close some of these qualifying laps are.
Rooney in the number 2 scoots himself right up off the corner. Didn't out-track it as much as those other contenders did. Well, go ahead and log himself, I guess, in 10th place. No, excuse me, 3rd place. I'm very surprised about that, but considering how low he was off of 4, he might have picked up a couple tenths doing that. There's a 9 Miller. He scoots himself around the racetrack. Currently running 8th. Of course, week-to-week contender. Unfortunately eliminated out of last week from a crash at Indy. Yeah.
So this pole has changed hands now 3 times in the last couple of minutes here in qualifying, and it doesn't really look like anybody else is going to be making a strong run for the pole. Ouch.
Yeah, ouch, indeed. Bonser, he's not going to make it, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's going to be routed all the way back in traffic. So, with that being said, that'll round out qualifying here for tonight. Congratulations to number 9 and Nick Miller to be out up top of everybody else. If you're now just joining us here for tonight, iSCAR TSP Cup Series Homestead 200. Getting to go green here. Oh, boy. Final 4, and my goodness, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for all these contenders. Did 134 laps, so it's a long race to get everything situated.
Yeah, hopefully none of them get in trouble. As we see the starting grid is on our screen now, Nick Miller wins the pole with a lap time of 31.298, and he'll start alongside Christopher Weil in second place.
Row number 2 going to be Ann McDowell, Aaron Mulrooney. Mulrooney was a chaser. Unfortunately, he got eliminated a couple rounds ago.
Derek M. Smith, the highest starting of our championship contenders, and a strong qualifying effort from Marshall Ryder, who will start 6th tonight.
Row number 4 going to consist of Connor Brennan, one of our final 4 contenders, and Cody Webster right alongside of him, and that number 45.
And in row 5, Ryan Kendrick, another of our championship contenders. And how about Liam Sheen getting another top 10 start this season?
Rest of the order is going to be shown on your screen. Find your favorite driver, and hopefully he'll win it here for tonight. Malachi Drake, one of the final 4 contenders, currently starting 11th. Try to find the other one.
We've gone through all of them.
Oh,
Sean
yeah,
Leisure is back, starting 15th tonight. Mitch Hobbs, round out, looks like the top half of our field tonight, starts 20th. Charlie Byer, with that unfortunate blown engine yesterday, couldn't get the championship in the Truck Series. He'll start 22nd. Hunter Rupp, making his first Cup start, starts 23rd. Joe Berge, 26th. We continue to go back through. Eli O'Quinn will start 28th. And Ruben Caceres will start in 29th. He's making a return as well. Nick and Delicato, the first one not to take a time, will start 32nd. See Chase Bonser couldn't get a lap in. He'll start 34th. Ryan Kwan, unfortunately eliminated last week, ends up 36th. Dylan Basin, 37th. You see, we go towards the tail end of our field. Grayson Collins, and it looks like Brandon Sampson will round out the field tonight. 42 drivers.
All right, so we got ourselves set up for the green flag. That number 9, and Nick Miller is going to lead the field to the green. But we'll get a race analysis on the right-hand side of the screen. Welcome to the Homestead Miami Speedway. 1.5 miles in length. Should run 134 laps as scheduled. If we do have a caution with 5 to go or less, we will go into overtime territory. So I'm excited to see on how this race will play out. Your final 4 contenders: Connor Brennan in the 92, Malachi Drake in the number 90, Ryan Kendrick in the number 65, and Derek M. Smith in that number 66. So here we go, getting set for the green. Find your favorite driver, and hopefully he'll win it here for tonight as they scoot themselves double wide into 3 and 4. Glad you're joining us here for tonight for the Homestead 200 for the iSCAR TSP Cup Series. My name is Ezekiel Reyes alongside Benjamin White. Going to be commentating your race here on MaxspeedTV. Pace car is going to scoot itself onto pit road. The number 9 and Miller is going to be on the throttle. And we're green here at the Homestead Miami Speedway.
Green flag. Andy McDowell and the 66 of Derek Smith both get good initial starts, as McDowell will take second and Christopher Weil is going to be hung out on the outside.
It's a good restart by that number 9 to get himself into clean air, but that number 20 using he's using a more shallower exit right up off the corner. Have the 66, Derek, he's going to take it 3 wide, and Miller's trying to block off Andy. Looks like Derek backed out of it.
Yep, smart move by Derek just to play it safe a little early. He knew that probably wasn't going to work, and now as they all travel to the top side of the track, we almost have trouble there.
That's Connor, I think.
Side of Connor Brandon, who is blinking bad, so that may be exactly why they made contact there, but a good save in the near end to a championship run already. Good thing he was able to save that, but it looks like his blinking was what caused that there. Liam just couldn't see him.
Man, that would have been crazy. Close. I don't know how much damage that number 92 has. He scoots himself into 3 and 4, but honestly, looks like a lot of left side damage on his machine, but he blinked through that car, whoever he was side by side with, and it was Liam Sheen, apparently, who's now in 7th. Liam has been has had a history this weekend of moving drivers out of the way. He already had a confrontation with Hunter Rupp. You see them 3 wide in the background around where that number 92 Connor is. He's having some problems.
Yeah, this is not what we want to see here for a championship contender, especially this early in the race on lap 3 out of 134. But long way to go. A lot of stuff can still happen. You see Christopher trying to move to the inside, make a pass for 3rd.
If I were that number 66 at Derek, I'd keep tabs on my relative and see where every single contender is running. The next contender of that final 4 is running in 7th place. That 65 of Ryan Kendrick is lurking in the mix. If Derek looks like slips up, it makes a mistake. They're planning to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. It looks like it's not going to happen, but Derek, if he slips up just a slight, that's just going to open up the door for that 65 to maybe pounce and roll on that bottom line to get around him. We'll have to see on how that 65 does, as on the front straightaway is still Miller out front in clean air.
Yep, another good run here early for Andy McDowell, who I was really surprised with the speed that he showed in practice and qualifying. So a good start. Let's see if he can maybe put a challenge for the lead here as he drafts up to him down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. It looks like he won't make a move here. Miller continues to lead.
The 3 and 4, they go.
Machine driving on the high side. He's been gaining spots throughout this whole early run, and he's going to move to the outside now for 5th position on Christopher Weil, who is sliding backwards. And he's almost about to get a challenge here from Marshall Ryder in the 75 as well.
Look at the pinching back there as a 34 attempts to go ahead and suck around that number 41 of Christopher Weil. Look at that, 3 wide. The 75 is going to drive it to the inside. Looks like backs out of it. So early in the race for all these drivers. The 41 is going to pull a slide job right up off the corner and clear. The 34 is Sheen. He crosses him over, down on in. Sheen looking to quarter panel that 41 down the front stretch, but in a 1 and 2, I think the 41 has the preferred lane.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be able to maybe fend off the 34 for this position. Down the back straightaway, he's also got drafting help from Marshall Ryder, who looks kind of indecisive on where he wants to go, but he stays with the outside line.
Derek M. Smith, currently your championship leader as of right now, as he heads to themselves to the front straightaway. It looks like the 2 of Mulrooney wants to make headway and scoot himself into that top 3 position. Not going to happen, though, as Derek is fending off. I guess there's different ideologies throughout this race. Of course, as a non-chaser, you want to gun for the win, since, of course, you're not in the chase. But when these 2 meet, non-chaser and a chaser, oh boy. You know who gets aggravated? Not chaser. 66 of Derek M. Smith is in a non-chaser sandwich between the 20 of Andy McDowell and the number 2 of Mulrooney. You might be feeling a bit of danger right now inside this top 3.
If he didn't trust these guys around him, then he wouldn't be up here. He'd be laying back. So I think he's just riding around a course in the championship lead as it sits right now. And down the back straightaway, they're just riding around 1 through 4 in a pull away over 5th place.
Get an update on our next chaser running in line. That's the number 65, Ryan Kendrick, currently sitting in 8th place as Liam Sheen sort of slowly trying to get himself back in right footing. He's falling back suddenly. We'll get an update on the 90 of Malachi Drake. He's all the way 9th place. And Connor Brandon in that number 92, he is way he's all the way in the back. I honestly don't know what happened to that number 92. I can't even find him on the leaderboard.
Yeah, the number 34 doored him on lap number 1. And I guess that damage that he got from that is really messing him up. You see him currently 31st, way back in traffic. And you see cars side by side behind him. One car gets into the outside wall. Everybody else does a good job to stay off of him.
Yeah, that contact there with Liam Sheen has definitely affected that number 92 of Connor Brandon. Connor is, oh my goodness. Honestly, that might have eliminated him from championship contention unless a caution comes out. So he'll repair that optional. Obviously, it knocked out some type of toe, either the left front or part of the left front, most likely. But man, that 92 is not in a good state right now.
Yeah, his car has to be handling bad. You can see he had contact, and unfortunately, that has set him back a lot. As you see, Derek Smith is going to move up to 2nd and drag Aaron Mulrooney with them, as looks like Andy McDowell's car is falling off just a little bit. But Nick Miller out front, getting a little bit more of a gap.
Miller is so good in the Cup car on 1.5 milers, and we've seen him perform out here. Of course, he was side by side with Derek to turn number 3 at Las Vegas for the win. Unfortunately, he didn't get it, but looking here, he's trying to get another one. I mean, trying to put himself back in victory lane. That's 66 to Derek M. Smith, right behind him.
Yep, you see Marshall Ryder has made himself up in the 5th spot, so his speed is also being consistent here on what is going to be probably a long run here in this race, as we have made it 13 green flag laps without an incident. As they go down the front straightaway, Miller will put another one in his laps led category.
Yeah, he's led every single lap from the drop of the green flag, of course. Nobody else has yet to pass him, but the 66 of Derek M. Smith, not only does he have a chance at winning the championship, he's trying to gun for the win and definitely has the speed to go ahead and whip by his own teammate. But right now, following in line behind that number 9. And how about the 2 of Mulrooney? He's sneaking up himself forward. I don't even know where he started. He started way back in 4th place, has now made himself into 3rd, as now looks like the number 20 of Andy McDowell is slowly falling off pace. He's back in 4th.
Yeah, but a good run, really, in this Cup Series to end his season. He just wants to end it on a good note here, and is having a good start to that right now, currently running 4th. But you see Nick Miller and Derek Smith, teammates, going to be maybe battling for the lead here soon. You see Connor Brandon has fallen all the way to the rear of the field. He's behind just about everybody, and about half the track behind now. He really needs a caution to be able to fix that damage and get back in it.
Scoots himself into, I mean, these top 4 scoot themselves into 1 and 2, all of them fairly on pace, as Miller wants to go ahead and break the draft. I don't know if Derek has peaked his score down at the outside. Looks like no. Derek's coming.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the lead soon in a couple of laps here, but you see Aaron Mulrooney right behind him. After leaving Prox, he went to Miller Motorsports, and it's been nothing but good for the 2.
How about the 75 of Marshall Ryder? He's scooted himself into now what is 5th place. Started himself outside that top 5. That number 75, again, we don't see him often on the racetrack, but he's making the best of his opportunity here. He's currently running in 5th.
Brian Kendrick closes in on him, though, for this spot.
Kendrick is sort of on an island of his own compared to what we see versus this top 4.
Derek up front now.
Right.
So he will be our first of our championship contenders to lead a lap here tonight. In the 66, he goes down the back straightaway. 66 of Derek Smith up front, and showing exactly why he's in this Final 4.
Here comes Smith. Of course, the most favored person to win the championship has picked up, I think, 4 wins this season, and that number 66 might add another one into the books if he does win here tonight. So Derek really running strong, and he's slowly pulling away from the 9 of Miller.
Yeah, Miller's car seems to be a little bit worse on these long runs, and especially looks a little bit slower in traffic, as you can see. Aaron is pressuring him a lot, and Miller might be just needing to give way, and maybe he can use this opportunity to maybe save some tires. If the run goes really long, he can get those spots back.
Look at this jam up around where this number 90 of Malachi Drake, I mean, right behind this number 90 of Malachi Drake, you have William Schmidt in here. Sean Leisure, as we do have a yellow flag, our first of the day, and looks like it's Liam Sheen. Oh! The 40 of Eli O'Quinn just pile drives the 34, and up and over he goes.
And Sheen's early run is going to come to an end tonight. And looks like that may be his season as well. You see Scott Yost gets into him into turn 3, turns him hard in the outside wall. He can't control the car from there, and Eli O'Quinn has nowhere to go. Let's have another angle here as we see I'm not too sure if
I'm
Scott
sure
moves
what
up or if Liam comes down.
I'm honestly not sure what Liam's doing. I mean, he's been blocking. Look at him. He's already dead in the middle of the straightaway. You can't go that low. And unfortunately, the 34 is Sheen. That's on him. And you see the 40 just pile drive. Nowhere to go for Eli O'Quinn. And up and over goes Liam Sheen in that 34.
Ryan Kwan also gets a tiny piece of that. It's not really what his season end he wanted to look like there, but pit stops here. This will give Connor Brandon the opportunity to fix whatever optional damage he has from that contact early, and we'll see if Connor is going to be able to get back into things. But here's an important pit stop here for track position. We'll see what strategy some of these guys will go with. 2 tires, 4 tires? We'll just have to see, especially these championship contenders. They want to get their calls right.
This early in the race, I expect everybody to slap on 4 tires, but it's just a matter of how much time he spent on pit road. Off first, looks like it's Derek M. Smith and the number 66. Just get themselves off. Looks like McDowell gains a spot. Mulrooney falls 1.
Fast pit stop there for the 66. It was under 14 seconds.
And this is an important stop for that number 92 of Connor Brandon. Of course, Connor now spending his time on pit road getting that left side repaired on that machine. Honestly, I don't know how much damage he picked up from Sheen. Looks like a bit of front end damage as well, but man, looks like it's over a minute of optional on that number 92. So if it's over a minute, that means I don't think that 92 is healthy for a championship.
Yep, but a long way to go, of course. What we don't want to see here is him go a lap down. It looks like he'll be out before he does get lapped, so 50 seconds of repairs here. Unfortunately, Connor Brandon's suffering a huge setback here early in the race, but this is his opportunity to recover.
Luckily, it doesn't get lapped by that number 66 of Derek M. Smith. Gets himself into 1 and 2. Derek, man, he's unreal. That man has a lot of talent. He has pro talent. If he just a bit more, like, if he gets faster, which he's already fast already. If he's already fast, that didn't make sense, but he's already fast. And if that 66 gets faster, he's definitely pro content. I'm stumbling upon my words. Apologies about that, but yeah, that number 66, Derek M. Smith, he's amazing.
Yep, most wins on the season, even more than Daniel Falkingham, who had just dominated to start the season. Unfortunately, left the league and couldn't run for a championship, which is really unfortunate because, man, he would have brought it to these guys. But Derek Smith takes the opportunity to maybe pull out a championship here as we are underpacing for the first time today after a crash that involves Liam Sheen, Eli O'Quinn, and Ryan Kwan.
Looks like we'll take the 1 to go signal as well as these drivers gonna double up. For Derek, he has to be feeling good because he has his teammate right alongside of him. I'm pretty sure this top 2 is gonna be, they're gonna be, communicating with each other and how this restart's gonna go. I think Derek's just gonna jump the restart early to clear out that number 9 and Miller on purpose so he could get some clean air in a 1 and 2. Andy, I'm not sure if he's a part of that, I guess, group. Mulrooney, I think he's a part of that group. I'm not really sure. Yes, he is. Number 2 is going to be communicating as well. So I think Andy, unfortunately, is going to be not getting a good restart. But he is starting 3rd, though.
Yeah, and for Andy, it's a good early run for him, and he'd just like to continue this by running solid in the top 5. But we're coming to the restart. It's going to be important. Of course, it's going to be at the leader's discretion. So Derek Smith will be communicating with Nick, his teammate, where to go. As they come off the board, a pace car is going to come on in. And we will be going green for the first restart of tonight's event.
Green's out.
Green flag is back out here on lap number 25.
You saw right there, Derek cleared that number 9 of Miller, but Andy got a better restart than what is anticipated. So Mulrooney in that number 2 couldn't slot back in line. And how about the 75 of Marshall Ryder? He wants to look for a bit of position as well. He just gets himself into 5th, though. And now he's under attack by the 65 of Ryan Kendrick. They go side by side in the 3.
Yeah, Kendrick's going to be taking this pass conservatively. Of course, early in the race, he doesn't want to be pushing his stuff. But you see he tried to look to the outside and will move to the inside of Marshall Ryder. A great crossover. He'll get the inside line on him into turn number 1. A battle for 5th is now here.
Meantime, the 66, Derek M. Smith. He's in clean air now as, boy, they are racing hard for that 6th position. Kendrick wants through of that non-chaser, the 75 of Marshall Ryder. Unfortunately, Marshall is running for a win. He wants to hold his ground. He has every right to, but it's aggravating that number 65 of Ryan Kendrick fairly slowly. Man, you see there, right up off the corner, Derek might have gotten him loose, and here comes the 9 of Miller.
Yep, looks like he'll just give way to Miller. A smart move there just to give way. Of course, early in the race, it's not really something that he needs to push for right now. As you see, Aaron goes a little bit up the track, and Marshall Ryder's taking the opportunity to go to the outside.
The only person left on that inside is that 65 of Ryan Kendrick. He's sort of on an island of his own yet again, but if he gets a good 3 and 4, he might put it into position number 5. Look at that 75 slide up at the track. Split in the middle, might be the 41 of Christopher Will.
Man, Marshall drove it in hard into turn 3, and he went up the racetrack on exit, which almost cost him, but he was able right now to hold this 5th position, so good early run for this 75 car. As we see more battling inside the top 10. That's William Schmidt back there going for a top 10 spot.
Looks like everybody is starting to single file out in the background as now Mulrooney is putting a bit of pressure on the 66 Derek, who's still your championship leader. Again, Derek doesn't have to finish up front of all 42 contenders. All he has to do is finish in front of that number 65, the number 92, and the number 90 to finish this championship out on top. So, as of right now, he's doing that. He's running in 2nd.
Yep, some more side-by-side down the back straightaway. We see Ryan Kendrick is battling someone back there. It looks like he is still battling Marshall Ryder for that 5th spot, but Marshall just will not go away right now.
The more these people go side by side, that's just going to wear out your tires. And honestly, I expect either the 65 or 75 to give way, but the 65 of Ryan Kendrick, he needs to get track position so he could get to that number 66 of Derek M. Smith. But Ryan decided to back out and conserve, but because he backed out, it opened up the door for the 41 of Christopher Weil to go ahead and pounce. And now he is on the outside, and he drives it into the corner, might make the pass.
He has the preferred groove, and on the exit of 4, he'll also get maybe a little help here from William Schmidt in the 79. We'll see where William wants to go on the entry of 1 and see if Chris can get clear of Ryan for the 6th spot.
Kendrick has been stuck. And you see there the 75 over Marshall. He's charging. He's charging hard. He has the drive to maybe win this race, and he's running up in 5th place. It's just a matter. Oh, Derek gets turned!
No!
Is he going to save it?
Yes, that's going to be a championship save right there. But Derek Smith with a near ending to his championship. We see cars checking up, trying to avoid. Everybody did an amazing job to get through that, and Aaron Mulrooney looks like he may have been the car to make contact.
And now Derek is side by side with a championship contender, that's 65. Because Derek, I mean, just about did a full Tokyo drift in 4, his tires are shot. And that means that opens up the door for the 65 of Ryan Kendrick to maybe pounce. Can he make the pass, though? And he's up on that high side. He'll get a run right up off the corner. And, oh, looks like Derek, I cannot believe Derek got the run off the corner. But at 65, Kendrick still staying in tow.
It's dangerous back here.
It's so dangerous.
Right in the middle of this, too. You can see him trying to gain some spots as well. The 90 up on the outside.
Right, we haven't mentioned that number 90 as they now start to file back in line. And look at the 55. Oh, man, I don't even know who that is. That's Brody Gardner. Trying to shove to the inside. He's going to turn to 7.
Watch out, guys.
Oh, Malachi Drake avoids it.
Malachi, as we see all the other cars.
Fire gets in the outside wall. They all scramble all sorts of positions. They're 4 or 5 wide looking around into 1. And that will, oh, my gosh, that probably gave the number 90 and Malachi Drake a heart attack, who was up against the outside wall. If anybody overcorrected, that would have been disastrous, as we do finally see a yellow flag. They're wrecking to the back.
Hartman gets turned. We have cars also going through the grass. That's Casey Drake. But it looks like just a couple cars involved. Another car gets in late. Other cars wrecking in the back. Cody Webster is also involved as we have 2 separate crashes to bring out the caution. There's smoke everywhere in turns 2 and down the back straightaway.
Man, that was messy, and we're going to see what happened here to bring out the caution. The caution came out. Oh, hard in the wall goes the 80 of James Youngman, and the 61 of Hunter Rupp. Nowhere to go, unfortunately. He gets involved. I'm not sure how bad his damage is.
Joe Berge looks to have minimal damage there, but there's a car smoking right there. His day is definitely over. Holy cow. A big mess in 2 places on the track. Down the back straightaway and in turns 1 and 2.
Trying to find out what... There's a 7. A buyer. He piles in, but of course, Jackson Hartman, he too got turned, and we're trying to find him. Oh, I mean, there he is. Number 95.
That's Connor right there.
I mean, oh, uh-oh.
He made it through that, though, so... That's a good break there for the 92, able to get through that crash, but this one off turn 2 start with Jackson Hartman and Casey Drake.
These people are on pit road, though, so we're going to scoot ourselves on to point the cameras on pit road, and not really sure how much damage Derek got from Mulrooney's contact. Of course, we didn't get a replay of it, unfortunately. We'll try to maybe go back here in just a moment to see what happened about the contact into 3, excuse me, but all these drivers scooting in and out on pit road and themselves in a nice position, and the first one out looks like the number 9 in Miller.
Man, that run was crazy. You had 2 championship contenders almost get taken out. You saw Derek M. Smith get turned by Aaron Mulrooney after a little bit of miscommunication there, and then Malachi Drake almost got involved in a mess that started with Charlie Byers. So they all got around that, but unfortunately some of the guys that really wanted to end their season strong, like Jackson Hartman, Cody Webster, they all get involved in wrecks, and their days are most likely going to be done.
And so Derek's going to come out 7th, and the 65 of Kendrick's going to come out 8th. So, oh man, those two are going to be fairly close for the restart as we take, looks like the 2 to go signal here at the line. Yeah, I guess we'll just scroll through on where our chasers are. You see the 66, there he is. We'll zoom up on his car and see if there's cracks of damage.
I'd anticipate some on maybe the left rear and on the back end as well, because that's where that contact did happen. But and that was maybe a championship-saving save right there. You see Ryan Kendrick with a little bit of a mean paint scheme. I really like that, especially with the penguin on the back end there. But he's running 8, 1 spot out of it. He'd like to redeem himself from last night's hit call, which unfortunately went wrong for him. But he'd like to at least get one of the 3 championships that he was eligible for this weekend.
There's Malachi Drake in P10. He's probably the man who had a heart attack in a 1 and 2. I mean, off of turn 3 as they all scrambled all over left and right. He barely avoided all that contact. I cannot believe the 90 made it through. And the 92, Connor, had a 50-second pit stop last time, and there he is. He's currently running 21st, and the nose of his car is sort of crinkled in. Of course, a lot of left side damage on his machine. It's not looking well for that number 92, but unless he pulls a magic trick, I'm not sure he'll be contender here for tonight, but he's still on track and still on the lead lap.
Yeah, that aero damage is really going to hurt him, especially speed and everything else that goes along with how the car handles. So still set back, but still is in it right now.
Field works themselves down the back straightaway. Our top 5 is Nick Miller, Andy McDowell, Marshall Ryder, William Schmidt, Christopher Well, Sean Leisure, Derek M. Smith, Brian Kendrick, Kiloa Hankins, and Malachi Drake in the number 90. So, two of the 4 contenders, actually 3 of the 4 contenders, excuse me, are starting inside the top 10 as we get set for the restart. I think this is our second one or third one of the day. The pace car is going to scoot itself onto pit road, and Nick Miller in the number 9 will lead it to the restart. Let's go back racing at Homestead.
Green flag, green flag.
Miller gets a pretty decent jump on Andy McDowell. Andy will pull the inside and take second, and Marshall Ryder will be side by side with William Schmidt going into turn number 1 as we got other cars trying to get top 10 spots behind. Sean Leisure is going to creep up into this top 5 as well.
Marshall got a bit loose on the bottom side of, right up on the bottom side. One car in the wall, that might be Connor. No, it's the 81 of Bonser. Everybody scrambles on the low side as Bonser is in the wall. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that 50 did not make contact with the wreckage. I don't know where.
There's a car that's really smoking up there. It looks like we were able to save it. Maybe there was a car sideways there, but you see a lot of smoke on the track right now.
I cannot believe everybody kept it straight, but oh god, the 50, I think that was Derek Newsom, who went from the bottom of the track and right up against that safer barrier and barely avoided the 81 of Bonser, who is unfortunately in the outside wall. Don't know what happened to him, but he found it, and he's dropped all the way back, last on the lead lap.
Yeah, good save for Derek Newsom there. As you see Derek Smith trying to move up through this field. He's to the outside of Sean Leisure for 4th. Down the front straightaway, he'll easily take that spot, and Christopher Weil is also falling behind as we see Nick Miller still up front.
There's a separation between that number 65 of Ryan Kendrick and that number 66 of Derek M. Smith. Derek, oh boy, I had a bit of a scare with Aaron Mulrooney earlier this race, but right now, that number 66 he's still looking fast, and here comes the 65 of Kendrick right up on the outside of Leisure.
New leader up front, that's Andy McDowell going by, and Marshall Ryder is taking himself to the 2nd spot. So strong runs for these guys that are no longer in the chase, and they are up in the top 2 spots. How about that?
Andy McDowell has never picked up an iSCAR win before, and that number 20 has been close multiple times, but unfortunately has came up short. But how about that? The number 20 of Andy McDowell is up front, and as well as another driver who's, again, we've talked about him earlier, the 75 of Marshall Ryder. He's never picked up an iSCAR win, nor he's ever, I don't think this is his first, I think this is a part-time season that number 75 is running, but he's going to gun to the inside and try to take the lead away from the 20. Whoa, so close
right there. Huge pinch by Andy McDowell to keep that lead, but that's what he has to do to stay up front, and that threw off Marshall a little bit, and Nick Miller will make his way to the inside and down the back straightaway into turn number 3. They're side by side for 2nd. Marshall Ryder drives it in hard to keep that spot.
It's a great move by the number 75 to keep it in the throttle and stay in touch with that number 20, but unfortunately he's side by side with the number 9 of Miller, and they're also that number 66 of Derek. He wants to go ahead and round himself around. That number 75 might take it 3 wide on the back straightaway. Oh man, he's having one heck of a drive, that number 66 is.
Yeah, I just back out of it right now. Of course, there isn't really a whole lot of championship competition around him. You see Ryan Kendrick 2 cars back there, but he's got a little bit more ground to make up. We see down the front straightaway, Derek's gonna, looks like, push Marshall Ryder by Nick Miller, so Marshall will return back to the 2nd spot, and there's Derek M. Smith going for 3rd.
Look at that, the 41 Christopher. He elected the high side, trying to follow that 66. I don't think the bottom is really preferred around here. It's sort of the middle portion of the racetrack. So that 66 that Derek can push that 9 of Miller right up against that white and get him tight. But it looked like there, Miller, he shoved it into the corner to clear the 66 of Derek, and he puts himself back in 3rd. So they're all going to single file out, finally getting themselves back into a pace.
Side by side here, Brody Garner, Aaron Maroney really get close. Holy cow, they almost make contact, but off turn 2, Brody looks to have the preferred line, but they make contact, and a good save by Aaron Maroney. He's one of the best at saving cars, and you just saw it there. Was able to make that save as Kealoha Hankins drives up, maybe to get in this battle.
Some surprising names right now inside this this top 10. Of course, Marshall Ryder in the 75. We talked so much about him. Brody Gardner. Man, he nearly spun it earlier in that number 55. Of course, contact with the 2 of Mulrooney on down the back straightaway. Mulrooney sort of might be a bit aggravated with that contact, but Brody is currently running 7th, and Kealoha Hankins also inside this top 10 area in that number 72. As you see right there, near contact. My goodness, Brody's pinching down the 2 as much as he can.
Yeah, we're hearing from Chase Bonser that he had a wheel issue that caused him to get in the wall, and unfortunately that stacked up a lot of people in the field. But that's unfortunate for a driver who was just making his return, of course, last night and
Whoa!
tonight.
Oh my gosh, the 41 just put the bumper to that 66 at Derek, and he's moved him up the track nearly. And look at that, the 65, Kendrick's saying like, he's cheering on that 41 at Christopher, trying to get him close enough to get them side by side, but Derek really shoved it into the corner. He pulled away from the number 41 at Christopher a lot, but there was contact between the 41 and the 66.
Yeah, that's not really what I want to see here, especially early in the race. Lap 49 now as they had just taken. We got a battle for the second spot. Miller's car pushing up. Marshall Ryder, but we got the caution out.
Looks like it's going to happen toward the tail end of the field as, unfortunately, this one involves a blinker, so that's the 83 of Joe Berge. I don't think he's, well, at least try to find him. There he is, and you see him right into the outside wall, and looks like he made contact, I think, I don't know by who. He was right alongside of him. Looks like, the 86 of Garrett Hess.
Oh, man. That's not what Joe Berge wanted to end his season off with an incident, so unfortunate break for Joe. Good opportunity to get your car into pits for some service, get some tires.
Right.
Some guys like Marshall Ryder, Andy McDowell, they drove their cars hard on that last run, and I think they'll be in for service.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they all scoot on the pit road and slap on 4 again. We've coming up on looks like 85 laps to go, so if we go green from this point forward, you're gonna make it on 1 stop. So all these drivers scooting themselves down on in. This might be their second to final pit stop of the day. Here we go. Everybody is on in. Looks like a calm pit road, but once they drop the jack, everybody's on that throttle. Try not to speed, but off of pit road first. It looks like to be in the number 20. Oh, so close there for second, but I'm not sure who got it. Might have been Derek, but Miller was fairly close as the Swarm scoots off of pit road, and Andy McDowell has retained the lead. How about that?
Slow stop for Marshall Ryder. He drops several spots in the order.
Right, that number 75, I don't even know where he was. He went from second all the way to now 11th place. That 75 a rider, oh man. It looks like a 17-second pit stop for that, well, let me pull up the pit panel. 17-second pit stop. Some sort of issue might have happened with that number 75. He might have clicked some buttons or whatever, but what might have happened is the 75, he had it preset to 2 tires. So it took on 2 after I dropped the jack, and iRacing let him go, but he forgot to maybe check on that other side. And once he did, the whole pit road system resets, and Ryder unfortunately adds another, looks like 5 seconds to his pit stop. Might have been a fuel problem too. Might have had fuel unchecked, so just waited his time, about 5 seconds on pit road to make it all the way around. Checkered flag. All right, we'll take a look at our order, dog. Why did you lead us off with Andy McDowell?
Well, Andy McDowell said he just wanted a top 5 tonight, and right now, really impressive. Currently leading the race, and hopefully come out here.
It's Nick Miller in the number 9 machine, currently running second. Was your pole sitter, but Miller trying to finish the season strong. Got eliminated last week. If he was in the chase, he would be leading it over that number 66 of Derek Smith. And speaking of, he's running in 3rd. Eric, of course, you could go.
Derek Smith, highest championship contender right now. Hopefully he can pull it off, but he's still got a long way to go, and hopefully everybody can make it trouble-free to the end.
Order 1, Christopher Weil is started himself in second place. Has dropped back a couple of positions, but is still staying in touch with that top. With the top 5, he's currently running in 4th.
Ryan Kendrick, championship contender in 5th place. Doing exactly what he has to do, but all he has to do now, get by Derek Smith and be able to hold off the rest of the Chargers.
This is going to be a huge restart because you know where these chasers are. They're sitting 3rd and 5th, so if Kendrick gets a good restart, no doubt he's going to drive it into the corner, maybe take it 3 wide under that 41 and 9. Oh boy, it's going to be hectic, but you got to make it clean. You don't want to screw it up for everybody. It's just a matter on how you're going to hit that throttle and get the run of the 66 and 1. But here we go for the restart. The 20 of Andy McDowell is going to lead it.
iSCAR comes off turn number 4, drop into the pit lane, and we'll get back going here on lap.
Green, green, green.
Looks to be 54.
Derek, oh my goodness. Kendrick did not get going, and the 41 of Christopher is going to most likely scoot himself to the inside. Derek really pushing the 20 of McDowell up front. Man, Miller slid up the track, but he finally gets himself in line. But that jams up 3rd on back. We do have a yellow, though. Oh my goodness, a big wreck, and looks like the 98 of Glenn Bundren's involved. You see the 55 of, I think that's Brody Gardner. He's also in it. Oh no, man, a restart wreck here on lap 54 puts us under caution yet again.
Yeah, it's not what Glenn wanted to see the end of his season look like here. Let's see with the replay here. It looks like they're all 3 wide. Connor Brandon is pushing it. Gets right into the back end of him. You see trouble behind. That's Keaton Jones getting sideways. But Glenn is pushed up the track. Nowhere to go for Brody Gardner. And the 4th caution of the night is out. You see cars dipping and dodging to avoid the crash. And Glenn Bundren, your Talladega winner. Season looks to be over, possibly.
Man, the 92 Connor Brandon, of course you're a chaser, trying to get as much track position as you can, but man, you just took out the 98 of Glenn Bundren. We're going to see yet again, going to get an onboard of that number 92 as he scooted himself in. And not only did he turn somebody, he gave himself a bit of damage as well as he was pushing that 98 out of the way. And right there, you see the contact. Connor's as low as he can, though.
Yeah, that's just Glenn trying to hold off a position, but Connor trying to get every spot he can, of course. Had the inside, and unfortunately Glenn just didn't really know he was there. But Connor moving back up to the field, currently 13th.
He's most likely going to hit pit road. That number 92 is trying to repair as much. Nope, looks like he's not. I'd expect that 92 to hit pit road, but I mean, running in 13th place. Trying to get as much track position as you can. There's Malachi. Currently running 9th, but... oh boy. Connor slowly making some ground up, but... still a long ways off of where Derek is in 2nd.
Yeah, I think it's a bit smarter for Connor to just wait until a caution comes out, maybe 10, 15 laps into the run, and then use the opportunity to make the pit stop while everybody else is, and he won't lose as many spots.
Pull up point standings. Connor, Malachi, Kendrick, and Derek. The one we haven't really been talking about is Malachi Drake in the number 90. Malachi has been fairly quiet. But, I mean, he was quiet during the Truck Series. And he somehow made it in himself, he made himself a Truck Series champion by taking a gamble and putting himself in a nice position to win the championship. So, maybe the 90 being sort of a silent guest, I guess you could say. But when the time comes around, I'm pretty sure you'll see that 90 pop up out of nowhere. Race is brought to you by the iSCAR TSP Cup Series for the Homestead 200. If you're now just joining us here tonight, welcome to the Homestead Miami Speedway. Got to crown a champion after 134 laps. Our sponsors today being presented by Trey Shuttlesworth Photography. Go ahead and check them down in the description or in the chat. I'll go ahead and send everybody a link to TreyShuttlesworthphotography.com. Thank you, Trey, for go ahead and sponsoring this season. And looking forward to working with them in the future. But as of right now, we are mentioned. Focus is up front. Still under caution, though. Not much to talk about. How about these non-contenders, though, Dog? Who do you think has a solid shot to win here for tonight?
Definitely Andy McDowell. He's been showing tons of speed all race, of course, up in the lead. I feel like he can finally break the drought and get his first career iSCAR win tonight. It's looking like it may be in the cards for him tonight as we take one to go here on this caution.
Alright, so one to go. Derek has a solid shot. I'm telling you, man. He's been up front, and he was the most favored driver to win the championship here tonight. And he's running as expected in second, but he's going to be on the outside lane for the restart. If the 9 and Miller, I don't know if Miller wants to let his teammate go. If he does get side by side for that second position, I'll have to find out, though. But 65 of Kendrick is also in tow. With the 66, Derek, if he's stuck on the high side, Kendrick could go ahead and pounce. It's just a matter of how, though. Here we go for the restart.
Yep, pace car will be pulling in this time. And on lap 59, we'll get, looks to be our 5th restart of the day. And coming up forward, pace car will be in. And Andy McDowell will step on it. Green flag is back out here on lap number 59.
Oh my gosh, Nick, oh my goodness. He jammed on the brakes as he let the 66 of Derek in, but it opened up the door for the 41 of Christopher right up on the high side. I think he's running for 408, correct?
Yes, he is now after a little bit of a fallout with friends at Kermit, so they fired him, but 408 picked him up, and now giving him a good showing right now in second spot as Derek's car is really pushing up the track. You see Marshall Ryder running very top, trying to gain some spots after that bad pit stop.
They're heading to 1. Andy McDowell is in clean air. That's what he likes to see. He needs to see these people side by side. Derek shoves himself into second place. What a move there. They skid themselves down the back straightaway. They're going to fan out too, looking 3 wide toward the rear of the field around where William Schmidt is. And that's also where Connor is as well. We'll scroll ourselves down here. Looks like Keaton Jones also in this mix as well. Haven't talked about him a lot. Not number 77. Keaton is running at 14th.
Yellow flag is out.
Got a yellow again.
5th caution of the night. Let's see where it is. And down the front straightaway, that is Ruben Caceres in the 56 in trouble.
Yeah, I think it was the only car in trouble there as he scooted himself off of turn number 4. But now caution's starting to breed cautions here on this final, I wouldn't say final run, but we still have one more pit stop. But looks like the 5 of McDowell, not McDowell, but
McDonald there.
yeah, McDonald just washed up.
Right. So that's unfortunate for Ruben, who was making his return to the league tonight. Of course, ran a little bit of bronze early in the season, making his first cup start. Unfortunately, it's going to end at the hands of Matthew McDonald for the time being here.
That will put the number 45 of Cody Webster back onto the lead lap. Cody a part of proximity now. And that number 45, glad to see him sport some proximity paint. But unfortunately, he has a bit of damage. Not sure if he's going to be contented for the win, but maybe a pit call might get him up front.
Yeah, we've seen pit calls work for several people in the past, and of course last night, a heck of a strategy put Malachi Drake in the championship for the Truck Series. But Malachi's got a little bit of work to do to get this one as well.
It's like Miller comes in, and he's the only person that did. Oh, wow, that's a bad pit call by that number 9.
Yeah, I don't know if he got faked out or if this was just planned here. As you see, he is weaving through the pit lane. I'm just playing around. It looks like a couple of cars also in the back will take this opportunity to get some fresh tires. What do they have to lose? But for Miller, this is going to set him back a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Nick, well, that sucks. I'm gonna slap on 4 tires and then out he'll go.
Yeah, Miller just needs to make the best of the situation that he's in right now.
That means Derek will not have a teammate in tow to help him for this restart. I don't know if Andy, what team's Andy on? He's on his own team, I think.
No, Andy is on Peak Performance Motorsports.
Right.
They signed him mid-season, and he's been running pretty well for him. Even though he's had a couple DNFs, he's also had some pretty good runs as well.
I think he's led the most laps. We'll go ahead and pull up laps led on the right. Nope, Miller has led most laps, but Andy making the best of his opportunity here tonight. He's led 22 out of the scheduled 134 laps. But yeah, with Miller pitting in, that in turn has left Derek with no teammate to cooperate here for this restart. But I know Derek and Andy, well, I wouldn't say they're relatively close as friends. They know each other on a different platform, which I'm not going to mention, but yeah, let's not go dive. Let's not dive into there, but yeah, Andy and Derek might cooperate if, you know, Derek bargains him to.
I mean, at this point, Andy's racing for himself. He has the opportunity, I think his best shot to get his first career win in this league tonight. And for Derek Smith, he really wants this championship, but he doesn't have to pass Andy to get that. All he has to do is stay in front of the 65, the 90, and the 92, and it will be his.
See some other contenders.
Trucks are in the top 10.
Yeah, I know. How about that 54 running inside there? Connor, William, Jones, Kenny, Quan. Round out top 20. Looks like to be Cade McGee is alongside with his teammate, that number 82, Brandon Warwas. See Jackson Menchu in his amazing fire suit. What an OG.
He's in this race as a driver and as a team sponsor, you know. He is on the hood of Connor Brandon's car tonight, and Connor's had a couple of setbacks tonight. You see Jackson's running a blank paint scheme. Well, actually, I think he's running a custom numbers paint scheme. You don't have custom numbers on, but that's your that's your choice.
Yeah. I'll enable it on sometime later, but rip.
But back up front, Andy McDowell is going to lead him to another start.
All right, here we go. Getting ourselves set for this green flag here in just momentarily. Andy McDowell. And that number 20 machine. That'll lead the field to the go. He's been up front ever since he retook the. Ever since he's took the lead. But Derek, with his speed, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be charging.
Yeah, Miller just told me he's bored, so that's probably why he made a pit stop. But anyways, we'll be coming off turn number 4. We're right at the halfway point. The pace car will be coming on in, and on lap 66, we'll be going back green. Andy McDowell is already on the lap pedal.
The green and Derek looks like he got an even restart with that number 20. What a great restart by that number 66. He wants to put it to the front, but Andy in the meantime and holding strong on that inside, and he'll clear the 66. So that championship contender, Derek M. Smith, slides himself back into second place, but unfortunately he's opening up the door for a couple of people right behind. But Mulrooney and Christopher are both side by side.
Ryan Kendrick also closing in the battle. As you see a lot of cars going wide up on the track. That's a car running the wall. That was William Schmidt, who actually gains a spot doing that. And there you see Connor Brandon right in the middle of that.
Whoa, so close. Might be contact right behind around where Quan was, but he gets pushed up the track and loses a ton of ground. But down the back straightaway, oh man, these people are fanning in and around. How about Connor Brandon? He's now up to 12th.
Yep, Keaton Jones, his teammate on the outside of him. Keaton drives in super hard in the corner. And it looks like they laid a Venom off for that spot as we see double wide for third. That's Aaron Maroney to the outside, and Looks like Christopher Wiles getting a little bit of a freight train going by him here as you see. Ryan Kendrick goes by, and here comes Sean Leisure in the 67 as well.
Yeah, that number 65, Ryan Kendrick, again, a championship for contenders, scoots himself on the high side. I think he'll get the run right above the corner. Of course, a bit of draft playing on the back straightaway. But, man, the 41 just drives it so deep into the corner that keeps him side by side on straightaways, but that time by, finally, Kendrick moves up a position into 5th. Excuse me, 4th.
Malachi Drake getting a little bit of a charge from Marshall Ryder here. Marshall's got to be careful. It looks like he will give him the room that he needs. So down the back straightaway, we see William Schmidt makes an aggressive move, taking it to the inside.
Schmidt noses himself to the inside of the 75, while Ryder is yet to make up all that position he got from his qualifying run, but he's still running inside that top 10 as he works Grosel to the front straightaway. Here we go, battle for the lead. The 66, Derek M. Smith wants it.
You see Andy McDowell up there trying to hold off the 66, and Derek really doesn't have to push for this position. All he has to do is stay in front of the 65, who has just gained another spot. He's up to 4th, and he is hard charging and on the move.
As they work themselves to the front straightaway this time by. Oh boy, everybody trying to get themselves all situated and stuff. We're going to crank it up here for you on MSTV.
I will say, you guys pinch a lot harder back here than we do up in front.
They got more to lose back there.
I got bored.
Hey, next time you do that, I can't guarantee I won't wreck.
I bored, I'm dead.
Connor, just money shift. It'll solve all your problems.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of money. Why else would it be called money shifting?
Haha, funny.
What did you say?
It said money shift. It'll make you a lot of money.
How much we talking?
Like $2.
That's weak.
Liam, let's make sure we're side by side when the leaders get to us.
Yes. Screw it. Time to pull the slider. Uh-oh. Didn't work. Tight! We're good.
My car has cancer, help!
That'll be your crank it up, of course. Driver radio, you're hearing the drivers communicate over, and some side communication left and right. Not going to go in depth with it, but that's just iSCAR things, I guess you could say. As they work themselves on the back straightaway, still up front, the number 20 of Andy McDowell.
Yep, Derek Smith just trying to hold his ground right now. He's got a little bit of a buffer over Ryan Kendrick, who is the closest of the championship competitors to him. As we see, Christopher Weil may get a little bit of a charge from Sean Leisure here for 5th soon, as you see
Connor's
like
in the wall.
Brandon got the wall, and he's going to get passed up by Mechu, Peter Kenny, and Mitch Hobbs will also go to the inside as well.
That's a line of all sorts of NR 2003 drivers that run on the... Not going to offend them, but, you know, that's a whole line of NR 2003 drivers that I see run some other leads. Look at that right in the background. The 9 of Miller trying to work himself back toward the front, but he's only up into, looks like 20th place. Oh! Car on the wall!
That was Jackson Mechu, stacks him up. Lots of fanning out around. Connor Brandon will pick up some spots. Casey Drake trying to force the issue. You see Nick Miller having to check up for all of that, but a big big group of cars right here that may cause a little bit of trouble soon. You'd see Peter Kenny's blinking around, so they got to take a little bit more of an evasive action here. As we got 3 wide into turn number 3. Miller trying to gain spots. Kane McKay, Miller will get the apron. Mitch Hobbs gets into the side of Casey Drake, but they're all going to hang on to it. Down in turn number 3 and 4. Let's just sort this out real quick. Let's get it clean and keep this green flag run going. As we see, looks like they have now, and that was close.
Oh man, the 92 Connor's trying to keep everybody right behind. Look up, right behind. Oh man, Miller sideswiped to 27 as Connor scoots himself to the inside. Connor's screwing around, even though he's a Final Four contender. Probably undeserving, but whatever. As they scoot themselves into 3. Oh, the 87 to Drake, cutting off the 27 to Cade McKee. They are fanning out all sorts of wide, and they're not even getting into pace. Look at the 99 of Jackson Menchie, who's already gapped himself at least half a second over the 92.
Man, that was a huge mess back there. But up front, Andy McDowell is going to be pulling away a little bit, but we have lap traffic. That's Liam Sheen, who's probably just going to stay to the outside here, as he's got no rear end. Also, James Youngman has to get out of the way here. Those two will do so. And Andy McDowell will continue to put laps on the board as we take lap number 80 this time.
Oh man, that number 66, Derek, he caught a lap car at a bad angle, and he's unfortunately going to have to enter lower than what he's used to. Might get tight, but that allowed the number 2 Mulrooney as well as the 65 of Kendrick to sneak up, but looks like Kendrick is going to catch the lap car at a bad angle. He couldn't out-track it right up off the corner. He's going to lose some time to Mulrooney.
It's exactly what Andy wanted to see here. He's pulled about a half-second gap on him now, and maybe cruising to his first career win, but of course, got a long way to go.
Yeah, McDowell is so strong. I don't know how many C-Fix wins he picked up here. I think he notified me like 3 or 4, but man, he's taking those talents on the official side of things and putting it on the league. And my goodness, he's pulled himself up to looks like a half-second lead over the 66 of Derek, who's slowly falling into the hands of that number 2 of Mulrooney. And here comes the 65 of Kendrick. He is slowly sneaking up to the backside of these two.
Yeah, Kendrick, maybe he saved his tires earlier in that run and is now using them to his advantage. You see Derek Smith starting to fall off just a little bit, and that's playing right into the 65's favor. Right now, they're single file. They're having a little bit of trouble passing. With this package, you will expect cars to have trouble passing. So, of course, full throttle on this track, not really what we want, but that's what iRacing gives us. Well, that's kind of what the NASCAR sanctioning body gives everybody to work with here.
The 72 Kaloa Hankins, he scooted himself around. That number 41, Christopher, into 5th position. That number 72 is flying. And he's now going to cross the start-finish line in 5th once the scoring pylon updates. And there he is, now in, well, still in 6th, but there he goes. Now it says 5th. It takes a while.
Well, good run for Kiloa right now. Has finally cracked the top 5, and let's see if he can gain some positions on these pack and maybe get up to the lead, but he's got a long way to go here.
There is slowly, how slowly he's catching that number 20 of Andy. But we're 30 laps into this run. If we do have a caution now, let me go ahead and pull up the race summary panel. If we do have a caution now, we will make it all the way to the end by the looks of it. So let's get themselves down the back straightaway. Andy McDowell is still up front. And he's doing one heck of a job of keeping himself in position. And he leads himself, looks like a 3-second lead as they're coming up on a couple of lap cars. I think that's the 45 of Webster. Yes, it is. And the 55 of Brody Gardner. None of them are letting each other room. Looks like Brody wants to fight it out with a 45, but now Brody moves himself to the high side. And he's going to come up on that number 45 at a bad angle, but most likely will clear into 3.
I mean, these guys are just trying to stay out of the way. It's not like they're trying to get in the way. They're staying to the outside, which is where they should be, unless they are like in the middle of the straightaway. Then they could pull to the inside. But of course, all they're doing right now is just trying to stay out of the way of these leaders. Let them fight it out for themselves. As Kiloa Hankins is caught up to these guys. You see him approaching the rear end of Ryan Kendrick for the 4th spot. But right now, almost 3 wide with some lap cars. Brody Garner kind of wants to make a way around Cody Webster here.
That number, oh, looks like we're going to have a pass for this third position as Kendrick scoots himself to the inside of that number 2. Looks like the 2 of Mulrooney gave himself away. And how about Kaloa Hankins? They're 3 wide in the back of this as well. Man, the 41 had to go all the way to the low side to prevent some contact. They're still trying to fan around these lap cars that are still double wide.
Yeah, Malachi Drake in this group right here, you see him approaching the rear end of the 67 of Sean Leisure. He's got to be getting a headache from these guys side by side at lap cars battling. They're still side by side down the backstretch. You see Kiloa Hankins going to go by Aaron Mulrooney, and for Kiloa Hankins, this is an impressive run here in the middle of this race.
Yeah, definitely. For that number 72, he seems to be stronger on that longer run. Of course, getting used to that force feedback wheel that he picked up a couple months ago. The 72 is putting it to work, and now he's in. Looks like going to be 4th place, but he got tight under the 2, but 2, Mulrooney. Looks like just going to let that 72 by.
Yep, that puts Kiloa Hankins up into 4th, and he is on the move right now. Maybe getting a little closer to Ryan Kendrick here for this 3rd spot. But all of those guys are now starting to re-catch Andy McDowell, who's still up front, has led the most laps today. Pretty dominant car.
We took the green with, looks like...
Connor's a lap down, by the way. 30th place.
Wow.
Sorry to interrupt, but he... Oh, man. It looks like his championship aspirations may be over.
Looks like, what you call it? Working on 88 out of 134. 46 laps to go. We took the green with around 80 laps to go. It looks like Connor did park it.
Yep, he just confirmed to me he's done. So the 92 will not be this season's champion, and that's a little bit more of a relief for the 66, the 90, and the 65. But now those 3 will be able to fight it out for themselves now, so it's down to 3.
Andy running a lower line right up off the corner. Kendrick, he too ran a bit lower right up off the corner. They scoot themselves into 1 and 2. Currently working on lap number 91 out of 134. Now just joining us here for tonight. Welcome you live for the iSCAR TSP Cup Series. Live on MaxspeedTV. Currently watching the battle for the lead here in just a moment, as well as the battle for the championship. You see right there, the 65 is in the picture, but man, with only just a single groove to run, it's going to be a while for that 65 to maybe suck up to the backside of that number 66.
Yeah, I'm being told in the group chat that I'm with Connor Brannon that Scott Yost gave him a meatball flag, and basically he had to park it. There was just no way he was going to recover from it, so that's unfortunate, and that's a bad way to end the season right there for the 92. Kendrick is catching both of these leaders now, really stepping it up in this part of the run. But Derek Smith now looking at the 20 of Andy McDowell for the lead.
Got some people pitting.
Yep, we're getting in their window as well.
Right. And this is the halfway window that these people might want to hit pit road. Now that opens up the door for the 65 of Ryan Kendrick to maybe scoot himself on in. Would you rather take the risk and come on in and risk that caution factor, or would you rather run the fuel tank all the way out and have the freshest tires toward the end of the run? We'll have to find out. Will the 65 or 66 hit pit road? Or maybe the 90 of Malachi Drake. I mean, you saw him pull some strategy. Maybe he'll pull a bit of strategy here. As looks like, I'm not sure where the number 90 Malachi Drake is currently. I mean, he's all the way in 5th, though. Any of these any of these final 3 contenders could hit pit road right now and maybe one-up each other. I'd expect the 90 of Malachi Drake to maybe hit pit road right around this area to get a run and close that gap between himself and that 65 and 66. We'll have to find out, though. Here comes Derek.
Don't speed. It looks like he'll get it down to safe pace or pit road speed here, so he will be in, and now it's all about not speeding, not overshooting your pit box, and getting the best pit stop you can. We'll see how many tires he takes. I would anticipate what the amount of laps left and what will hopefully be a green flag run to the end. Probably 4 tires for everybody here.
Derek's on in, gets the right sides jacked up on his machine. They're going to move all the way to the left side, fill it up with Sunoco fuel. And of course, Sunoco on the hood of that car. You better fill that up with Sunoco fuel. 4-tire call for him. He's up and away. And here comes the 65 of Kendrick. He's going to scoot himself onto pit road too.
Yep, once one person did it, the rest of them are going to follow behind. And for Ryan Kendrick, he needs to not make any mistakes on this pit stop. This may be the money stop here.
Gonna jack the right-hand side of the car up. They're gonna move over to the left sides, and of course, 4-tire call for that number 65. No, 2-tire call. Wow, surprised about that.
Yep, we just heard that the 96 of Brandon Sampson just careened into the pit barrels, so it sounds like his race is over on that green flag pit stop. That's unfortunate for the 96, who unfortunately is going to be ending his season here.
Got a replay of what happened to Brandon Sampson.
That's just what he told me.
Oh, well, I mean...
You see, he is destroyed. He has no front end and no hood, so...
Yeah.
So it's not the way you want to end your season at all. Andy McDowell is surprisingly staying out a little longer. I would have expected him to hit pit road maybe a lap or two right after Derek, but I don't know if this is going to cost him the race here. We'll have to see what strategy he'll elect with here and how long he will be able to stay out. As you see, William Schmidt's in the pits from 3rd.
Yeah, all these drivers, once that first person of Christopher Weil, he hit pit road. Everything's up for grabs. You see the 20, Andy, man, so fast on the pit road. I don't know if he got a speeding penalty or not, but he was fairly fast on in. And, oh boy. Not sure if he got a speeding. Oh, he's going to have to work himself around that number 61 of Hunter Rupp. Oh. None of them are letting room, and, that's a bit of a hiccup that number 20 had to encounter. Might lose him a bit of time here, but I'm pretty sure he'll come out as the leader.
That sucks, and hopefully that doesn't cost him the win. But hopefully he didn't speed either, because he was coming in hot. Looks like he may be in for 4 tires here, and as he comes off of pit road, he is gone, and hopefully he didn't speed.
Derek looks like in that number 66 will regain the lead, of course, pitting a bit earlier than that number 20 of Andy McDowell, but, you know, that, what you call it? For Derek to take a balanced call is the right call, honestly. And where is the 65 of Kendrick? He's all the way. He's
6-12 for scoring update.
Looks like Kendrick, he's all the way back in 12th. He lost a ton of time. For some... It looks like the 65, with that 2-tire call. Oh boy. Derek's in front of him, and he took on 4 tires. I don't know what happened to Ryan. I guess he's just fallen off so hard. But I'm just saying, that 2-tire call might have busted his championship hopes right there.
Yeah, I think for Ryan Kendrick, you want to see a caution, and some guys staying out, trying to stretch it as far as they can. You see Casey Drake is up in the lead in the 87 car. Scott Yost is 2nd, Racing Collins 3rd, Cade McKee in 4th. Those guys are right now still staying out on the track. Dylan Basin is also staying out as of now. It looks like Christopher Weil is 6th right now in his number 41.
Some more drivers hitting pit road. You see there, Brazen Collins is on in, as well as the number 67 of Cade McKee. He scoots himself onto pit road for most likely the final time. But yeah, Casey Drake still out on the racetrack. He's going to have to pit here in just about 5 laps. Looks like he's just stretching the run. You want to stretch the run and maybe catch a caution, but unfortunately it's just not going to work. And how about that? We're most likely going to have a new leader. That number 41, a Christopher, who came on in 3 laps earlier than that number 66, to Derek.
Derek has caught him the past couple laps, though. And how about Aaron Mulrooney also staying up in this battle as well?
Yeah, but Aaron, even though he pitted earlier than that number 66, older tires starting to play effect, and you see the difference between Derek and that number 2. I mean, Derek in the number 66, Aaron in that number 2. Yeah. Looks like a balanced call is the call, and Derek has the speed to most likely take this lead away from that number 41.
Yeah, he's been catching them the last couple of laps, and for Derek Smith, this has to be a statement. He's trying to pick up what would be his 5th win of the season, and would also get a championship to go along with that. But right now, Christopher Weil is the only thing between him and that right now, is the 87 and 85 still have to come to pit road.
Scott could actually stay out more laps than I thought. He could stay out about 15 more laps, then scoot himself onto pit road. He came down pit road last caution, but for most likely going to be the lead, Derek scoots himself to the inside, and he'll retake 3rd place in what is most likely going to be for the lead.
He will take that, and he'll move up to 3rd currently on the track, but 87 and 85 yet to come to pit road right now. Those top 2 would really want to see a caution here, but Derek Smith does not want to see a caution. He wants to see this thing run all the way to the end, and this championship will most likely be his. As you see, there's a car really smoking. That might be Cody Webster.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's not how you want to end the season for Cody. Blowing up the motor there. Currently 28th, not having a good run after early crash, and looks like his season's over.
Derek just scooting himself to the inside of a couple of lap cars. That's James Youngman. And I don't know who else that was. Looks like Liam Sheen as well. Yeah. Still have a lot of cars out on the racetrack as of right now. But with this pit cycle now done, it did spread out a ton of drivers. We're going to see on where everybody stands. Again, Casey Drake in that number 87, Scott Yost in that number 85, they too have yet to pit. But Derek, once those two do pit, the lead will be handed to that number 66, to Derek M. Smith.
Derek putting a gap now on Christopher. Of course, he pit a couple laps after Christopher did, and that tire advantage is playing to what he wants it to play out to, which is being in front of every single car that's on the same strategy as he is, and right now pulling away from the 41 and the rest of the cars behind.
At 65, Kendrick just got passed by the number 90, Malachi Drake. Kendrick encountering a couple cars in the wall. But yeah, the 90, Malachi Drake, now sitting 2nd in this standings. Unless if something severe goes wrong with that number 66 of Derek M. Smith, this championship most likely might be locked for the man who's dominated this series, that number 66 of Derek M. Smith.
Scott Yost will give up that 2nd spot, and at this point, I think Yost is going to be in for tires soon, but of course, he still could catch that caution, which would keep him on the lead lap. Garrett Hess will give way on the high side as these lap cars are doing their best to just stay out of everybody's way, especially cars that are on the lead lap. And, of course, some guys hoping their season would end a little better than they did now.
Coming up to 24 laps to go for the 66 of Derek. And with everybody spread out, well, with Casey yet to pit, oh, man. So, looks like we can sum it up. Unless if we get a caution. All Derek has to do is hold his breath for 24 laps, but that's a lot of laps, honestly. Now 23 laps. I'm sure Derek has the championship, but the future's still vague right now.
Yeah, obviously a caution could be thrown and things would change dramatically. You'd see all kinds of different calls probably in the pits, and for Casey Drake, he'd like to see a caution. You see a lot of smoke ahead. I do see smoke in turn 4, but that may be just from a blinking car. But looks like that's clear track there, and Casey Drake will put another lap lead on the board. He's just trying to have a good showing for the end of the season here.
If a caution does come out, though, it just plays to that 87 to Casey Drake's favor. He's trying to catch a caution. He needs to catch a caution to put himself in position. And the number 20 of Andy McDowell scooted himself. Well, he's now into, looks like, 5th place. And mirror full, that number 25 of, I don't even know who that is.
It's Brayson Collins.
Brayson Collins.
Racing.
But yeah, Andy, he pitted 14 laps ago, has the freshest tires out of this top 5, so he could easily catch up to these other contenders. As you see there, oh my gosh, Brody Gardner just slapped the outside wall. Don't know what he's doing, but for that number 20 of Andy, should have hit pit road earlier, as soon as Derek hit pit road, but I don't know what the 25's doing. Oh my gosh!
And this whole cycle from the pit stop on to now, that couldn't have gone worse for Andy McDowell. Was the leader, dominated the middle portion of the race. Now he's fallen backwards. Of course, that near altercation with Hunter Rupp in the pits really messed him up.
20 laps to go as Glenn Bundren puts himself now in the lead lap. 64 laps since that number 87 of Casey Drake last pit.
Really pushing it to the end here.
Yeah, he's really pushing it to the end. Obviously, he won't make it. I think when Derek does pass that 87, Casey will hit pit road, but we'll have to see.
Aaron Mulrooney has dropped a couple laps down. It looks like his day may be over here. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Aaron, but unfortunately, looks like he has dropped several laps down.
Yeah, looks like Aaron is disconnected from the session, so pulls another man who was in contention for this for the win out of it. Now all eyes are on Derek to pass this number 87 to Casey Drake, and he'll do it on the high side, be a bit fancy. For the lead. No contest there. 66 of Derek M. Smith up front.
But Kealoha Hankins, he's going to move into second as soon as Casey Drake pits. It's going to be probably his best run in his iSCAR career. A great run right now, currently third, but as soon as Casey Drake pits, he will be in second. You see Brayson Collins trying to make some more passes here. Trying to maybe unlap himself, but he's got a long way to go. He's got to get to Derek Smith. But right now, Kealoha Hankins enjoying a great run.
Yeah, for that number 72, for the final race, it has to feel good of running the best as you can. And you see there, he's coming up on the number 34, Liam Sheen, down the backstretch. But yeah, Kealoha Hankins has yet to reach iSCAR victory lane. Been close multiple times. I don't know where he finished second at, but he's finished second all sorts of places. But here he is. Might have a chance at the win if Derek does screw up.
Yeah, the closest I think he's been is Talladega in the Bronze Series. He was leading right in the trial, then got turned by Alex Wheeler, who ended up going on to win that race. That was Kealoha's best shot of getting a win. But right now, I feel like this is an even better shot if he can just manage himself and maybe even 66, but he still has a lot of track to gain.
Right, that lead is over 3 seconds, looking like Cole Custer a couple of years ago. At 66, Derek is flying, and he's getting swamped by a couple lap cars, but the lap car is just giving him away. It's Mitch Hobbs in the number 90, I mean, not 98, but 89. That's a PPM car. I don't know who that is. I think that might have been the 98. Yes, it is. Glenn Bundren in the 98. The 95. Lots of 9s around there. We're currently being lapped, but Derek gets himself to the front straight away. 14 laps to go for him.
What a season it's been for the 66. 4 wins and maybe on his way to his 5th here tonight.
Ryan Kendrick with that 2-tire call. Well, he's currently riled back in 9th. Our second championship contender is currently sitting in 7th. We interviewed him earlier, and things will have to go his way. The planets have to align for that number 90 to be in right condition. But as of right now, he's sitting himself in 7th. Has been quiet, but it's enough to give him the points.
Yeah, for Malachi Drake, he's been pretty quiet all season, but has been super consistent, and that's been helping him to each of the Final Fours that he's made. Of course, capitalizing and winning the championship last night in the Truck Series, but it looks like, barring a caution, he'll come just a bit short. But for Derek Smith, this has to feel good and really, really give a shot to his confidence.
Definitely. Again, he dominated the Cup Series. He's won at all sorts of tracks, and no surprise, he's up front leading it as he heads himself. Still 12 laps to go. That's a solid about 5 minutes left for that 66 to track around. But what a season for that number 66 of Derek. $11 laps to go. Now it's just holding your breath, and hopefully that caution doesn't fly. If a caution flies, oh boy, things are gonna go south if it does. Take a scroll through the field with 11 laps to go. Derek M. Smith in that number 66 is currently running up in 1st. Kilowa Hankins in 7th. Had a nice start all the way back in 19th, and had one hell of a run. Get himself in that position. Christopher Weil. And 3rd. Started himself in 2nd. Andy McDowell, we were just talking about him. 26 laps ago since he's pit, he's now scooted himself into 4th. Sean Leisure in the 67. We haven't talked about him a lot. He's currently running in 5th.
Yep, 6th currently Marshall Ryder after enjoying a great early run. Looks like he will be running 6th for the time being now, as he just wants to end his season off on a high note here. Currently doing that. Malachi Drake 2nd right now as they run on points. Looking right now to have a decent ending to his season. You see Keaton Jones on the inside. That is for position, so Keaton Jones will move up to 7th, and Malachi will drop back another spot to 8th. Ryan Kendrick is 9th, not really too far behind them, but man, that call really messed him up there in the pits. And Jackson Metchie, William Schmidt side by side for 10th.
9 laps to go as this battle for 10th is swarming. It looks like it seems as though Jackson Menchu trying to fend off William Schmidt in this mix as well. Looks like Ryan Kwan and I think the 82. No, not the 82. That seems to be a lap car. Don't know who that is, but yeah, Ryan Kwan, William Schmidt, Jackson Menchu. They are littered all over each other here for this this top 10. Kwan goes to the inside of Schmidt.
Dylan Basin is that paint car right behind him. Of course, barely made it back in time for the race.
Yellow! Oh no!
Are you kidding? The time for a caution. Not sure exactly who that is.
That's Webster, but don't know where the caution came out. I'm trying to find. Looks like it's Sheehan in 34.
Could have been, but we saw Webster in the pits. That was an engine failure a little bit ago. Let's see what happens here.
And this changes everything. And we'll see what happened as I think looks like a miscommunication there as Youngman.
Oh,
What
Youngman.
the heck?
What the heck? Wow. Well, that throws a wrench into everybody's plans here at the end of this race. Derek Smith thought he was cruising to the end of it. Nope. Caution's out, and we will have a charge to the end of this race.
Now it's strategy time. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to take on 4 tires, but those people who want to those people who want to
money stop time right here.
Yeah, money stop. This is the stop. This is the stop right here. But with everybody spread out, I'm pretty sure Derek's going to come out on top. It's just a matter of who's going to take on 2 tires. Kendrick's most likely going to take on 4, so this will hit the reset button for him. He might make himself forward. I'm not sure, but
let's see who gets out first. Looks like Derek Smith will get out first. Andy
Coming out
McDowell
second.
sliding the box. It looks like It's the 41 a while who comes out second. Kilo Hankins drops to third. I'm not sure who got fourth. It was either going to be Sean Leisure or Andy McDowell. I think McDowell might have gotten it.
But I mean, Derek's still your leader, so he'll get a massive jump unless Christopher wants to fight for that lead, which will shuffle that 66. Everybody had a pit with those old tires. I mean, it was just a matter of time, but
They weren't going to hold up if they had stayed out.
no way. This changes a lot of things. I mean, it does, but at the same time, it doesn't. Honestly, for Derek, it doesn't change a lot, but for the rest of the field, heck yeah, it does.
Yeah, this is the chance for any of these guys that are closer to the front to get a win, but for Derek Smith, all he needs to do is stay in front of the 90 and the 65, and he has this locked up.
For the 66, the Smith, he wants to win the championship, of course, but he also wants to win the race. So, two very similar ideas, but both with conflicting ideologies. Because if you run for the win, you have the risk factor, of course, and that number 41 doesn't have that chase factor on his shoulders. So, at 41, at Christopher could push as hard as he can.
Kiloa Hankins in third would also like to take a shot at his first win. Man, I thought somebody would roll the dice, maybe stay out. If you have nothing to lose, like if you were just running 11th or so, you could stay out because what it looks like, it'll be either a 3 or 2 to go restart here.
Looks like it's going to be a 3 to go restart. These drivers are going to go ahead and get the wave around right about now. Yep. And what seemed to be like a calm finish has now rebunched our field 2 by 2, and some drivers who are hungry for their first win are lurking in this mix. How about the 72, Kiloa Hankins? He's yet to be in iSCAR victory lane. He's running in 3rd place, but of course Smith has to be in front of everybody else to win this championship. Not in front of everybody else, but in front of the rest of the chasers. We're going to be restarting in, looks like, 7th, 9th place. Of course, Connor in the number 92 is DNF'd. No factor in there, but here we go, getting set for this wild restart. And all Smith has to do is keep himself clear, and he has this locked in the bag.
Yeah, watch for the 41, 72, and 67 to try to be aggressive and win this race, but as long as Derek, I think he'll have this locked up. We'll have 3 laps to go on this restart. Can Derek Smith get the advantage on the restart and have enough to pull away and win the championship?
Work themselves to turn number 4. Derek will most likely hit the throttle early. Indeed, he does so. How about the 20 of Andy McDowell? He's going to peek to the low side. 3 wide, and they're looking all over the place. How about Malachi Drake? He's going to take it 3 wide. 3 by 3 into 1.
Yep, Malachi Drake has to make any move he can to move himself up in the
running order. Goes Andy!
Yellow flag is out.
And also in getting involved, Ryan Kwan, Brandon Warwas, Peter Kenny. They're still wrecking over here. We've got 3 or maybe a couple more cars involved in that. But Malachi Drake just barely made it through that. He could have easily gotten clipped, but a good avoidance there. And caution will come out. We're going into our first overtime.
My goodness. Wow. That was hectic as some people hungry for that win took it 3 wide, and they were littered all over the place. Unfortunately for Andy McDowell, not clear, and he tried to come down on, I mean, actually, it seems as though, no, 72, Kiloa Hankins came down.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be clear there, and nowhere for the 82 of Brandon Warwas to go, and a couple other cars getting involved. That's Brody Garner, that's Dylan Basin also crashing into that, and that will put an end to Andy McDowell's, what was once a dominant run for him. It's going to go way south at the end of this one. See, he just crashes into the wall after getting pinched, and unfortunately will end his season in the garage.
That sucks.
It truly does, especially for somebody who I thought had a huge shot to win this race.
Right.
Well, that will put Sean Leisure up into the 3rd spot now.
Yeah, how about that? That number 67 of Sean Leisure is now going to be sitting in 3rd. You saw Malachi Drake, of course, so aggressive on that start, trying to get as much track position as you can to get yourself to the backside of that 66, but only 2 laps. Oh, man. Yeah, I think it's too little too late for that number 90, but again, it ain't over until that white flag's out.
Yeah, I want you to take a look at the avoidance he made, though, because that was just incredible what he did. To be able to avoid that crash, he almost had got involved in that. That was just really good avoidance on his part.
Have to scroll back all the way.
Yeah. See, he's to the inside of Ryder here to go from his hood cam. Andy is right in front of him. Watch, he goes down to the apron, almost spins. Look at him have to jerk the car up the track. And fortunately, nobody else was there, and he was able to get by.
Who knows? That might be the difference of what makes a championship car. He still is in it, but again, far ways along of where Derek is. Oh man.
Well, we did not anticipate that the race was going to go into overtime, especially how long that run was, but here we are now, under pacing with 3 laps to go. Of course, we're going into overtime for the first time. I think we have 3 attempts.
Yep.
So, for Derek Smith, he either wants to just pull away on this one restart, or, you know, if we have to use all 3 overtimes, all he has to do is just stay in front of everybody.
What seemed to be a small cruise to a championship has turned into a 2-lap sprint. Derek has to fend off all these cars to basically win the championship. I mean, you could still get past and win the championship, but I'm pretty sure that number 66 of Derek would like to be in victory lane for the 5th time this season.
Yeah, these guys in the chat saying #SmithChamp. That's going to have another whole new meaning when this race is over, because I think he'll have enough to get this thing done.
Definitely. Here we go, again set. I'm going to get the 1 to go signal this time by... Oh boy.
All he has to do is nail this restart, and I think he'll be going away with it. But of course, everybody behind has to also mind their P's and Q's and just run clean to the end here. Marshall Ryder blanking right now from 6th. Hopefully that doesn't ruin his hopes for a good finish here tonight. He's having probably his best run that I've seen him have here in iSCAR, so great ending to his season if he can just make it a couple more laps.
Your top 5 going to be all on your screen on the top bar. Derek M. Smith, your championship leader. The 41 of Christopher Will. The 67 of Sean Leisure. The 72 Kiloa Hankins. And the 77 of Keaton Jones. Getting set for what is hopefully going to be the final restart. The 66 of Derek M. Smith. Trying to hold off everybody to win this championship and pick up some cash after this one. Pace car is going to scoot itself on a pit road. And here we go from Homestead. Derek M. Smith's going to nail the throttle down and hopefully clear that 41. Green flag is out.
Green, green, green. Derek M. Smith gets a good restart. Dylan Basin with a great save off the restart. Might have spun the tires there, but there was a big stack up near the rear of that field that caused that. You see Christopher gets down in front of Sean Leisure. These guys are just trying to end their season right now clean and green as we go down the back straightaway. Kendrick trying to force it 3 wide, doing anything he can to gain as many spots as possible, but down the back straightaway, Derek Smith is breaking the drag, but here comes Christopher Wild to the back end.
Work themselves in a 3 and 4 single file. Maybe the 41 wants to mount up a last lap charge. They're wrecking to the back. The 75's around, and Kendrick's involved in that. And around goes Kendrick. That'll end his championship hopes. White flag, and the 41's there.
Here comes Christopher Wild right to the rear end. If I'm Derek Smith and he gets under me, I'm just going to let him go. But down the back straightaway, final time. Derek M. Smith has won 4 times this season. Those came at Las Vegas, the Charlotte Roval, the Charlotte Oval, as well as Phoenix.
Oh, man.
To the inside. as Liam Sheen is getting right in the way of everybody. Watch out, Liam. They're going to split him 3 wide, maybe off of 4. To the checkered flag. Who's going to get it? Derek Smith or Christopher Weil? They're going to door sling to the line, and it'll be Derek Smith picking up the championship and his 5th win of the season here tonight. What a run to the end.
That was interesting as Liam Sheen got in the way of all of that, and Derek comes out on top and clinches his first ever iSCAR championship. Derek Smith does it here at Homestead. Wow. That was awesome.
No better way to end a championship season right there. 5th win of the season in victory lane. And this has to be his biggest win of his career right here. Hell of a job.
Definitely.
His fans are just going absolutely crazy. The chat is currently being just spammed right now with hashtag SmithChamp, which, of course, has a whole new meaning now because he is the TSP Cup Series champion.
Has to feel great for him, and he beat Christopher by half a car length at the line. That was very interesting at the end. We're gonna go ahead and get a replay of that finish. Of course, Liam getting in the way, of course, but luckily for Smith, he survived, and he's your champion. We're gonna be right back right after this. iSCAR TSP Cup Series Homestead 200. Be right back right after this.
Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead. Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
to be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett Low. 4 wide at the stripe.
For all his work here on this outside line, neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Welcome you back live here for the iSCAR TSP Cup Series. Getting set to go ahead and interview our champion, who also ended up winning the race. That number 66, the Derek M. Smith. Into the interview box he goes, and we're gonna try to drag him in. There he is. That number 66 of Derek M. Smith. And to the booth, Derek!
Yeah.
My goodness, man. Congratulations. Not only did you win the race, but you're coming home as the champion.
Yeah, I am ecstatic. Not by you can't really tell by my enthusiasm, but yeah, I just can't believe it.
Yeah, man, you had such a dominating season. Honestly, like, oh my goodness, you're on it. You won a total of 5 times this whole season. What do you have to say and reflect off of this performance here tonight?
Well, I think whenever I won the first race at Las Vegas, that was whenever my confidence just came up, and I was just able to become a front runner more consistently. And not sure what I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, man, you finished off the season with unbelievable statistics. With 19 starts, you're gonna come home with 14 top 5s, 17 top 10s. My goodness, man.
Holy crap, yeah.
That's
I was pretty consistent.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And of course, to top off that statistic, 5 wins this whole season. That's 1/4 of this whole entire season with wins.
Yeah, well, that was all like kind of later on, after like Las Vegas.
Yep. Right, man. How'd you put yourself in position to come out on top here?
Well, I thought trying to save tires. I saw like people like Marshall Ryder in the beginning of the race. He was just like going as hard as he can. I was like, yeah, he's a little bit dumb, but I feel bad for people like Connor and Andy. Andy got screwed over, and also Connor especially. He was definitely a front runner, but you know, lap cars and all the other crap that happened. You gotta feel bad for the people who got screwed over.
Yeah, man. Coming to the start-finish line, of course, the 34, Liam Sheen getting in the way. What was flashing through your mind? I saw the 34 coming up.
I was like, Liam, are you really gonna screw us over again? I just saw him stuck in the middle, so I went high and Chris went low. And I thought he was gonna ruin the race right there, because I had to let off and stuff. But If Chris didn't swerve up to the right of me, it would have been probably like close to a tie. Even though that can't happen, but it would have been pretty closer if he didn't swerve into me like that.
Alright, man. 10-4. Congratulations on your championship here tonight. Before we let you go, any sponsors you wanna thank for this whole entire season?
I want to thank my mom and dad for supporting me, my Derek fans for supporting me, and it's just anyone who supports me and like helps me out, I guess. Also, I have a request to bring all Derek fans in here as a championship request.
I'm sorry, we're on MaxspeedTV. I can't. If it was KMN, I would do that, but unfortunately.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're MaxspeedTV.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do that.
That's fine, but alrighty.
All right, man. Congratulations, man. Can't wait to talk to you coming for your next Final Four coming out. Looks like the Xfinity Series.
Yep,
Alrighty.
Season.
Yeah, thank you.
Derek M. Smith in that number 66. Gonna slide in our next Final Four. Looks like to be the number 90. Malachi Drake. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna come out home here in 6th. Go ahead and take him into the booth, and Dog, go ahead, take this one.
Malachi Drake, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, it hurts to come up short, but of course, second place in the championship doesn't really hurt, especially considering the season that you've had.
Yeah, I knew that whole race that Derek just had something that no one else had, and then I knew after Connor had his issues that Derek pretty much had it won as long as nothing crazy happened to him, and nothing did, thankfully. And I'm happy that he won because he was the most deserving all season of it, and he definitely had the most consistency. And getting second place for me was exceeded my expectations. My goal was just to make the second round, and I did a lot more than that. So I'm happy with second.
Yeah, man. Last night the champion, and tonight second place. You got any sponsors or teams you want to thank for this whole season?
Just want to thank the Miller/Webster Motorsports for we helped each other out again tonight, and that's kind of what helped Derek win too when we were talking about fuel and stuff like that. So once again, just shout out to them.
All right, man. Good luck in the summer series.
All right, thank you.
That was Malachi Drake, who comes up second in the championship battle and comes up 6th tonight in the race results.
All right, we'll go ahead and drag in our third place runner in that number 65, Ryan Kendrick, into the booth. He goes, hey, Ryan, you got a copy?
I got you.
Ryan, man, with that pit call, it set you back. Then the caution came out. Then with of course, the white flag on the front stretch, you got involved in a wreck. Basically a roller coaster day, and unfortunately, you're coming home here third as in points.
Yeah. On that pit stop, I switched it to 2 tires like earlier in the run, because I was hoping that we would get like a short run and a caution. I would take 2, and I just forgot to change it back to 4, and that killed me there. But I was starting to catch Derek on the end of the run before the caution, and then he pit a lap before I did, and I was trying to follow him in. So I slammed on the brakes, and I was already too far past it. So I lost about another half second there. And then on the end, I was just pushing too hard for no reason at that point. I think I thought the 75 was going to be a little bit higher, which he had room, but I probably could have gave him a little bit more room, and that caused that.
So we'll go ahead and focus in on the mid portion of the race. About that pit call, man, you elected on with 2 tires rather than 4. Were you just hoping track position brought you toward the front and maybe you'd catch a caution or something?
Yeah, I probably should have taken 4 because, hindsight's 20/20, I guess. But after a few laps, it didn't feel too bad, but at that point I had already lost so much time on track.
All right, man. 10-4. Before we let you go, man, Any sponsors you want to thank here for tonight?
Yeah, I don't think Miller Western Motorsports and congrats to my teammate Derek for winning tonight. Then Evo Sim Sport, and hopefully we have one more for tomorrow that I can pull off.
All right, man. 10-4, Ryan Kendrick coming home. Coming tomorrow. Hopefully, looking for some redemption from the last 2 nights. Looking forward to seeing on Sunday. Ryan Kendrick in the number 65. We'll go ahead and drag in the number 92. A dog's gonna take this one.
Connor Brand, you got a copy.
Yeah.
Well, you finished 34th after a rash of incidents. Just tell us exactly what happened throughout that whole race that set you back and then, of course, ended your day.
Well, I mean, it all started lap 1. Like, it just went downhill from there. I mean, I hit the wall before, barely. It gave my car a ton of aero damage. And then I just kept getting past. I lost all the straightaway speed I had in the car, and we got a long run that just knocked me all the way down to 30th. And I got stuck back there with all the brain dead people, and then I was trying to drive my way back to the field, and I did. I got up to about 13th, and even though I had aero damage, it's crazy. And then everyone started hitting me when they were trying to pass me in the long run, and it just seems like nobody can drive out there. It's crazy. I mean, every time someone took it on the inside, they just slid up into me and put me in the wall. It's ridiculous, but what do I do? I got aero damage, and it just sucks to end the season like that. I was looking for a good run.
Yeah, I thought you came in here as one of the favorites, but unfortunately, just a lot of people really messed up your day. Got any sponsors or teammates you want to thank for tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Jam5 Media, Jackson Menchu, for being on the car today. He also painted that car, looks pretty good, and Proximity Racing, obviously, great team. We've been good all season long. Wish I could have brought them home a championship, oh well. And I also want to thank the Free Gabe Allen organization. They sponsored us for the race today too. So.
All right, man. Hopefully Gabe Allen is freed too, but we'll just have to see if he gets freed or not. But yeah,
He's not as nearly as bad as some of the people in here.
All right. Well, either way, unfortunately, finishing 34 tonight, and good luck in the summer series.
Thank you.
Well, that was Connor Brandon, obviously frustrated after the way his season ended. Now we're going to get to our some of our top finishers in tonight's race. We already interviewed Derek M. Smith, and now we're going to go to second place Christopher Weil. He definitely has some stuff to say as well.
Hey, Christopher, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, man, I'm trying to think in a non-chaser perspective. I was so focused in on the chasers and stuff, but speaking of chasers, you finished second to one, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, there was a bit of a commotion there coming to the end.
I
Liam Sheen
can't say
obviously
I'm
getting in the way.
pleased at all with Liam Sheen. Like, I can't even believe that. It's the dumbest move I've ever seen from someone 34 laps down to interrupt the battle for the win right there on the last lap.
Oh man,
I would like to use more colorful language, but I want to be respectful of the viewers and the audience.
well, man, honestly, with the run you had, you can't be, too mad. Of course, you came up short. Obviously,
Yeah,
very, very frustrating, but definitely a solid run after.
Second is better than I honestly deserved. It feels really like upsetting to be so close and then have it taken away from someone completely irrelevant the entire race. You know? Like, I don't understand why someone who's 34 laps down is even allowed to continue at that point.
And that's obviously very, very unfortunate circumstances there all the way at the end. But overall, how'd your run progress? Let's just exclude that white flag lap out.
Yeah, the car got tight as the run went on, and every restart I tried to save tires a little. Someone would go to my outside, and I'd end up on the bottom, burning up that right front and falling back. And, once you burn it up just a tiny bit, you're a sitting duck. So it wasn't the best race I've ever had, but, I did a solid job keeping it around the top 5 the entire race. Didn't make a single mistake on pit road or during the race, really. Just, tried to do my best and came up a little short at the end. Derek deserved it more than I did, for the record. Like, it's not like I got the win stolen away from me. If anything, I would have stole it from him. So it's nice to see him get like the win he deserves, but just stings.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell. But run yourself out second here tonight in the finale race. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank here for tonight?
No. No sponsors to thank.
All right, man. 10-4. Shout out to Chris for no sponsors on his car. Hopefully, he'll get some for all the viewers that are watching. But Chris, we'll go ahead and see you coming around soon.
Yeah, thanks.
41 gonna round himself out second here for tonight. Gonna go ahead and scoot ourselves down to third, and that's the number 67, Sean Leisure.
Sean, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you haven't really raced in the series in a while, and getting a third place finish, that has to feel good.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'll talk about how the car out there was handling. Of course, you have been running in the top 10 pretty much all day.
Yeah, pretty much the whole day. I mean, I found that my weakness was definitely short run speed. I don't know. I just didn't know how to run the car on short run. But once the long run came and we started getting more laps in, like 23 laps in, I feel like I was one of the best long run cars, definitely. But when I saw the caution come out, I was pretty scared. But obviously, it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, we did not want to see that caution, of course, late in the race, because that changed a ton of things. But really good run for you ending up third. You got any sponsors or teammates you want to thank?
I want to thank Andre Burdett on the box, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. Well, good luck if you're racing tomorrow and in the summer season, which is coming up soon.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too. That was Sean Leisure coming in third after a little break from this series, but he's back and running well.
Well, with that being rounded out, we interviewed the top 3. We've interviewed all the chasers, 7 people we interviewed. So, man, what you think of tonight's race, dog?
Really good action, especially the finish was pretty exciting, but we obviously did not want to see that caution at the end just throw a wrench into everything.
Yeah, definitely. And luckily for Smith, he was in probably the best position and put himself in a nice position during that long run. Definitely deserved it there at the end. All right, and that'll do it here for tonight's broadcast. The iSCAR TSP Cup Series Homestead 100. Hope to see y'all tomorrow night once we get going for the Xfinity Series Final Four, same time slot, 8 p.m. Eastern. You could also check out Rudy's stream as well. I don't know. Oh, Mike as well, I think is broadcasting. I'll have to see on. No, actually, it's the Nork IndyCar Series is going to be broadcasting during the time of the iSCAR Peter Kenny Graphic Design Series. And yes, Mike is going to be broadcasting as well in the 2020 Summer Cup Series. So, looking forward to seeing y'all out and watching tomorrow's broadcast. But with that being said, my name is Zeke Reyes.
I'm Benjamin White. Thank you guys for tuning in. We had a lot of viewers tonight and hope to expand on that.